My name is J245 and I am a patent attorney representing Benner Shipley, who specialise in IP, so patents, trademarks, design. I've heard the word innovation multiple times already this morning, and the question is really, are people taking advantage of that innovation? I'd like to discuss really how green technology companies can take advantage of some new and unique opportunities to obtain protection for your intellectual property at a reduced cost and in a time-effective manner. I'm going to focus on three main areas. Why are intellectual property rights important to your green technology firm? What are the perceived difficulties of obtaining those intellectual property rights? And ultimately, how are you able to mitigate those difficulties? So, firstly, why are intellectual property rights important to you? As you know, green technology is at the forefront of technical innovation in this day and age. It's important not only to yourselves, but also to the world as a whole, that green technology continues to innovate. And intellectual property is your route to protecting this innovation. Some companies have already recognised this. According to the UK Intellectual Property Office, in the past 10 years, the number of green technology patent applications has increased by over 500%. That's a huge amount. It far outweighs conventional energy technology, such as in the oil and gas fields. Therefore, IP is increasingly important to you, or at least it should be. But looking at a UK perspective, a study that's recently been conducted by the European Patent Office has concluded that the UK is in the top 6 countries for filing green patent applications. Those 6 countries file over 80% of green applications. However, the UK is at the bottom of that pile. It's quickly getting caught by China and other countries. The top 6 really are Japan, the US, Germany, France and Korea. However, we're in danger of being overtaken. Even worse, the same study shows that the UK isn't even in the top few in any technology field for green technology. This suggests that the US, Japan, China, they're all protecting their IP, whereas the UK isn't really. It seems to be left behind. If you want to compete with these countries, it needs to be done. You need to protect your IP. You spend a great deal of time and money with your research and development developing your intellectual property, so how can you afford not to protect it? So, admittedly, there are a number of perceived difficulties in obtaining intellectual property rights. The three main ones that I hear time and time again is that it takes a long time to get protection, particularly to get a grant of patent. There's generally a lack of knowledge of the IP that's available for you, and also cost is always a major issue. So, taking each of those in turn. Time. It takes a long time to get a grant of patent. It's a long and drawn out process. Quite regularly, in a fast moving technology field, you file your patent application and you've moved on to the next project before you've even got a grant of patent. However, there are a number of initiatives that are now in place that green technology companies can take advantage of, and I'll come back to those in a minute. A lack of knowledge in IP. So there are various intellectual property rights. patents, trademarks, designs and copyright. However, this can be confusing and it can be difficult. And also, even if there are ways of speeding up or reducing the cost of obtaining IP, how are you meant to know about it? And cost. This is a major worry. However, there are ways of reducing costs, and ultimately, as Florence mentioned, IP is important for obtaining funding. So, how can you overcome these difficulties? Well, firstly, as I mentioned, a number of initiatives are now in place to help speed up the patent application process. By reducing this time to obtain a granted patent, you can also reduce the cost of doing so. A good example of this is that the UK Intellectual Property Office has recently introduced what's known as a green channel. This should help accelerate the examination of patent applications relating to green or environmentally friendly technologies. For example, a UK patent application can take up to, on average, 37 months to reach grant. By using this green channel, you can reduce that to as little as 9 months. Other countries have also introduced similar initiatives. These include the US, South Korea, Japan, Australia and China. So there's lots of opportunities to obtain protection for your IP in a much quicker manner. There's lots of other initiatives. These include the reclassification of clean energy patent databases. This gives you the option to identify existing technology that's already out there in your area. It also gives you the advantage to learn about that existing technology so that either you have the opportunity to license that technology or to reduce the time and effort in actually developing it yourself. In addition, it should be recognised that having a substantive IP portfolio is a valuable asset for any company, can help obtain funding, and generally is very worthwhile for your firm. Furthermore, at Venner Shipley, I just want to mention that myself and colleagues that have an interest in green technology have got together and developed a Green Deal package that we would like to discuss to help develop a valuable IP portfolio for your green innovations. Our package aims to enable us to use our experience to tell you about these different routes of technology. And there's also, we're able to offer a reduction in costs. So, if you've got any questions or you'd like to know more, then please come and talk to us in our stand in the foyer. Thank you.